Hey everybody, I just got home from Petco and hopefully we're going to solve two problems today. One, I've got an explosion of red Wag Platies in my office tank upstairs, and so hopefully this little school of black skirt Tetras right there, which eventually once it gets out of quarantine here, will be making its way up into my office tank, and that should put an end to the excessive amounts of guppy fry. And then the other thing is something I've never seen before. While I was at the Petco, I was informed that they had gotten some rabbit snails in. Never heard of rabbit snails before, but they sounded pretty neat. And so I checked them out, and sure enough, they're really neat. And so you can see the big one on the right there is sort of crawling around. They're really awkward and weird looking when they move. They sort of move in little hops and steps. Maybe that's where they get their name, I'm not sure. But haven't seen much movement on the smaller one yet, but it does look as though it's got its foot out and is now stuck to the glass. I literally just put them in there a few minutes before we started filming here. And so there you go. Just a quick update. Just wanted to let you know I got some new fish in. And the rabbit snails are actually going to go in my 125-gallon tank with all of my rainbow fish and the discus and the angelfish. This tank is starting to have algae problems because of the huge amount of lighting I just put in it. We are actually going to be addressing that in an upcoming video, probably tomorrow, Friday night. And then the snails hopefully are going to go towards helping keep that clean. So I'm interested to see what happens now that it got to the edge. Is it going to start crawling up the side of the tank, or is it just going to go along the edge, or what? It should definitely be interesting to see whether or not it can make it up the side of the tank. Considering how laboriously it seemed to drag that shell across the tank, it's going to be interesting to see it climbing the tank. It was hanging on the glass when I got it out of the pet store. That's the reason I took that particular snail. You can see the very tip of its point is damaged, and that's not ever going to recover. But it was so active, and it was literally climbing up the side of the tank, and so that's why I said I'll go ahead and take that one. And I also wanted to point out that as much as I thought I cleared the red Wag Platies out of this tank, it wasn't until I got in here today when I got home and started cleaning the tank out and preparing it for the new inhabitants that I found that there is one red Wag Platy that was left in this tank. As soon as I emptied them from this tank about 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, or so I thought I emptied them from this tank, I stopped feeding this tank. I haven't fed this tank in at least 2 to 3 weeks. And so apparently the algae that's growing in the tank and the plants that are in there or whatever have been enough to keep that red Wag Platy alive, because it certainly doesn't look like it's malnourished. And again, I haven't been feeding this tank at all. I didn't even know that fish was in here. It was hiding down when I got in here to do some work. It was like tucked underneath that rock in the back behind the heater. And that's when I first discovered it. So all this time there's been a red Wag Platy in that tank despite me not feeding it. So anyway, now the tank's cleaned up, it's sort of reset. We're starting it over as a quarantine. We've got the black skirt Tetras. These are long fin black skirt Tetras. They're going to go in my office tank upstairs. And then those two rabbit snails are going to go in my 125 that we just looked at. That is a really, really strange looking snail. It's interesting. It sort of stretches its foot out, and then as it pulls forward, it sort of rolls and kind of corkscrews because I guess the shape of the shell. Really, really strange looking animal. That's got to be why they call it a rabbit snail, the way it moves forward in those little bunny hops like that. So there you go, everybody. Look forward to some more coming up. Thanks for watching. Don't forget I do a live stream every Friday night and Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Hopefully I'll see you then. In the meantime, make sure you subscribe and you won't miss anything else I post. So thanks for watching this one. See you real soon in the next one.